Hi everyone, Sailor Moon here, Serena here, and Sailor Mars here, Sailor Red World here. And today we're going to talk about, you know, about Naoko Takeuchi or Takeuchi. What's true, what's not true. Now, first off, someone told me that everything I talked about was not true. Well, first off, we weren't saying any of it was true. There is so much out there on the interwebs, and no one knows if any of it's true or not, you know. Like, here's some things folks say, and we're not here going to say if it's true or not. Now, first off, did Naoko Takeuchi or Takeuchi, however you say her kin name, did she have a falling out with the Toei business? Well, some folks said she did, and some folks said she didn't. And is there any truth to it? I don't know. But folks say that she was unhappy with how Sailor Stars was handled by the Toei business. Now, first off, if she was unhappy about how Toei handled Sailor Moon, then that was just, I guess it was too bad then. I guess at that time, if she was unhappy with how the cells were handled, how they were drawn, what they said, what they did, what did happen, what didn't happen. Because let's be honest, a lot of things that happen in the funny book or the drawing book didn't happen in the drawing show. You know? And folks say that she was irked or angered with Toei for making the Sailor Starlights, Dustin, Jordan, Julian, make them the main selves when they're supposed to be minor selves. Well, Toei had freedom to take some freedoms with how they went by handling the drawing show. And as we know, not all films and shows ever fully match up to every single thing that's being said and done in the book. All right? Now, a lot of folks out there will know that to be true. Now, I'm not here to say if we all know that's true. But as far as her getting angry over it, well, I don't know what to say. Now, what did the Toei business do? Did they say, oh, we're sorry about that? Hey, let's shift the Sailor Starlights and make them the less selves. No, because when Sailor Moon Stars came out, the last offshoot of what would be the 24 Between Wild Sailor Moon drawing show, they were still men, and they were still the main selves. So, where's the truth at? I mean, a lot of folks like to say a lot of things about her. Some folks say, hey, she's smooth to get along with. Others say she's not. No one really knows the truth, There's going to be folks out there who say they know the truth, but they don't. And I don't know the truth either. What we do know is that, well, the Aldling Niall Golding's business half-owned Sailor Moon with the Toei business. How much slay and might they have, who knows? Now, some folks wrote, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I guess there is some whiffs out there in some films, if you can seek it, saying that the selves that she came up with for Sailor Moon were friends that she wished she had. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if she did or did not have friends. I don't know what is true or not. And if she came up with selves that she wished were her friends, then that's really no unlike anyone else coming up with kinds of things. Coming up with folks, sometimes wishing that they had, that they had friends or whatever too. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that was her grounds for coming up with them, then I guess good for her if it's true or not. You're right, Sailor Moon. You're right, Serena. Really, no one really seems to know if there's any truth to any truth out there. Because someone could come on and say that we don't know nothing about her, and yes, that is true. Well, it is from what folks say, if there's any truth to it, that she did end up getting a healer sheet and wield skin, which meant that she could then sell pills or be a pill seller. But that was what some folks said that was her backup if the whole writing and drawing thing didn't work out. If there's any truth to that, I don't know. Now, some folks say that Serena's mother and father and brother were a take from her mother and father and brother when she was growing up. And if so, well, okay, that's good. You know? Now, at the end of the day, no one truly knows much about her except what she puts out there and what folks say, if there's any truth to it or not. You know? Now, some folks say that, now that's all I know. To be honest with you, I don't know how much of it that's true or not. For all we know, that could be made up, because the interweb, a lot of things out there that are said to be true not always are true. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, so I'm just going out there that at one time she happened to overteam or overshift the show which Han Siobhan would get his thought to make the Might Keepers out of, and that was her thought for coming up with Sailor V. But then they said that Toei got a deal with her to come up with another book, which would be Sailor Moon, and which that ended up offshooting into the drawing show. Now, I don't know if any of that's true, but if it is, well then good. But if it's not, oh well. Sorry if none of this is true or not. Because someone said, "Oh, you think you know her and you're making up shit about her." No, I wasn't making up shit about her. I was just saying what happened to be out there and if it was true or not. Because what someone says is true, someone else will say it's not true. And we do get back to the whole, did she have a falling out over the Toei business? And if that is true, well, it must have not been that long. Because as early as 2012, YL, there was already Sailor Moon shit going on. The books were coming back out and being, the funny books were coming out again. The drawing show was getting made. So if there was a falling out, it didn't last that long. And hell, 2003 while 2004 while we had PGSM, the live Farseer show. So yeah, if they did have some kind of falling out, it didn't last as long as folks thought it did. Or maybe there never wasn't a falling out. But no one really seems to know. And I don't really know that much about Naoko Takeuchi or Naoko Takeuchi or Takeuchi. Or I like to say it's Takeuchi because that's the way it's spelled. So I'm going to say it the way it's spelled. Yeah, you're right, Sailor Mars. You're right, Sailor Red World. You're right, Ray. We don't know what's written and what's shown out there is true or not. There isn't any really way to know if it's true or not. So yeah, there need to be some films out there where she's talking about things, and need be in the films that might be true. But a lot of things that were written, more like naysay over things, because a lot of things that she said or did was naysay, and very few of it happened to be true. Yes, it was true that she did draw and write the Sailor Moon books, but she had already drawn and written some other books before Sailor Moon or Sailor V, and she's still drawing and writing books, I believe. Now, what kind of books they are, I don't know. Now, beyond that, I don't know what is true or not. And if there is a website to the Aldeling Now Golding's business, which I guess there would have to be, and need be some of this stuff about her is out there. The need be that'd be the website to go to, because, well, unless it's not in English, then you're gonna have a hard time reading any of it. Then there might be some truth to back up those things, if Aldeling Niall Golding's business has a website or not. But beyond that, I don't know what's true or not. And I'm not going to make up things. I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouths, or say that they said this, or said that they said that, or said they did this or did that when they didn't, because there isn't really any truth to back it up. The only truth you have is what films are out there on Euro, what's written down on websites, which really ain't true. And I guess the films where folks had talks with her is most likely the only true things that you have, because you really can't trust the websites out there, and you really can't trust anything else anyone is saying, because it could all be, made up. So what do you think? Yeah, give this film a like, share and playlist it, and we'll see you later.